Now, Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome to episode 16 of Double OT, and for the second week in a row, we find Mark Dondero in Williamsport covering Warwick North, their Little League run coming to a close as we tape this on a Tuesday night. Mark, other than you having to wear the same polo every day for the last 7 days, what did you learn, or what did we learn collectively from the Little League World Series this week?
I told you that in confidence, Yianni. What did we learn from the Little League World Series? Well, we learned, as we discussed in the sports wrap back on Tuesday, that this team, this Rhode Island team, can play with any Little League team in the country, in the world. They were right there with all these teams. I know Maine and put it to them a little bit, but that doesn't matter. If they face them again, it'd be a totally different situation. This team is good. This team is world class. And let me just say this. I loved how Ken Ricks managed this team. He managed to win. They were trying to win the whole tournament. In their last game there, he knew Colin Lemieux would not be available down the road because he had thrown so many pitches, but he needed to win that game. He couldn't worry about down the road. I love that. I love what they did. Tough breaks in the end there, but it was a great run, and it's a great team that we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. The team, I think, achieved a lot in Williamsport. And again, third year in a row, a team from Rhode Island is there. I think you kind of etch Rhode Island in that upper pantheon of Little League states, because when you consider they come out of New England every year for the last 3 years, and they are there with teams from talent-rich areas like the South and the West. And I think we remember now with Colin Lemieux's performance on the mound that if you have one horse, you can really ride him, especially if you have days off. And nice job by Kenny Ricks, too, and the head coach. So it was fun covering them. So making us proud there, Warwick North Little League, and we'll probably be seeing you there next year because this happens yearly now.
It is an annual event. Okay, so with the conclusion of the Little League World Series, that means we start to look to football season, basically 100%, full throttle, because the Patriots season is about to start. 2 preseason games left. In their second preseason game, Tom Brady did not play. We know he cut his finger. He's missed some practice. He had a personal thing he was taking care of. Not sure he'll play in that third preseason game in Carolina, Yianni. I know he wants to. Are you concerned with Brady's lack of playing time in actual game situations?
Yeah, so to this point, Bill Belichick has not confirmed or denied if Belichick will play Friday in Carolina. So it does worry me because I wanted him out there last week getting some real repetition, some real game action in that one against Chicago. And I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of the excused absence. Last year, he was going to court in Deflategate and missing practices. That was one thing. This year, we don't know why he was excused Monday and Tuesday, but one of the things I've liked about Bill Belichick over the last 15, 16 years is he treats Tom Brady like every other player. Now, would he give Malcolm Butler or Dante Hightower or Jamie Collins or Danny Amendola the day off for personal reasons? So I'm not a big fan of that. We know Brady is going to be off the first 4 games because of a suspension, but with the personal days off, and with the stupid scissor thing where he cuts his thumb, it's just kind of been a clunky week for Tom Brady. Let's get some continuity. Let's see him in game action. So at least when he arrives week 5 in Cleveland, we at least see him in some sort of game action.
Now, the scissor thing, clean it up. I don't have much to say about that. Don't let that happen, please. That's just not what you need. However, with that being said, I am not concerned about anything. I am not concerned about him not playing, and I'm not concerned about him missing time. This is a human being. Things happen. Family things happen. He might have had something in California with his parents, with his sister. Who knows what went on? He had a family thing, maybe. He had a personal thing. I'm not going to dive into that. If something happened like that to anybody that you work with or whatever, you'd understand. People have to do things and take time. As far as not playing, well, would it be nice if he went out there and threw 2 quick, clean touchdown passes and then came out of the game against Carolina? Of course. But Jimmy Garoppolo needs the reps. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play the first 3 games. Tom Brady is a seasoned vet. He's going to be fine. I don't know how he's going to occupy those 4 weeks when he's, I wouldn't want to be his wife during that time. He'll probably be grouchy, but I'm not worried about what Tom Brady is going to do, and I'm not worried that he's not playing this much in the preseason. He could start a little slow, but that man will figure it out fast when he gets back in here, and he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, and hard to believe when he was cliff jumping in Costa Rica, he would get out of that unscathed, and then he would cut his thumb by just handling a pair of scissors. Speaking of injuries, on Sunday, it was one after another. News coming out of Foxborough of players getting injured. Shaq Mason, Sebastian Vollmer headed to IR, the right tackle, and of course Dion Lewis, the dynamic, shifty running back. Which, if any of these injuries are really hurtful to the Patriots, and do you think any of them will cause a domino effect that hurts the team?
Well, you could toss it up between Sebastian Vollmer and Dion Lewis. I'll say Dion Lewis initially just because I think, with Jimmy Garoppolo in there, he can use all the weapons he can get. Sebastian Vollmer, I feel like, is a little bit like Junichi Tozawa, just overused, overworked, and on his way down and out. He's had a good run with the Patriots, but he's just breaking down. It would have been nice for Dion Lewis to be in there with Jimmy Garoppolo. It would have helped Garoppolo. He's a heck of a weapon out of the backfield. The one thing about Dion Lewis that I'll say is we know his size. 5'8", 190. He's a running back in the NFL. I am not confident that that man is going to make it through 16 games plus the playoffs. So if he's going to miss some time, I'd prefer it to be early in the season and you have him later. So it's not a travesty in my mind for the Patriots that he'll miss some time, assuming he can get back to 100%.
From a fan perspective, I think Dion Lewis hurts more because he's so much fun to watch. From a tactical standpoint, I think Vollmer's injury probably hurts more because what do we get when Vollmer's out? We get Marcus Cannon, and what happens when Marcus Cannon's blocking? Tom Brady and or Jimmy Garoppolo gets crushed. I know Dante Scarnecchia is back leading this offensive line, but something about Cannon at right tackle and the revolving door at the guards and center position makes you feel a little queasy, especially with Jimmy G getting his first real playing time. And then back to Lewis, there was rumors of him possibly needing this knee cleanup a month ago, and he kind of balked at it, and now here we are another 8 to 10 weeks. So you want to see Dion Lewis eventually get to the field and perform to what he was doing up until that injury in November last year. You don't want to 5 years from now say, Mark, remember that Dion Lewis, that half season back in 2015, because I think he is special. James White's a poor man's version of him. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, do some dynamic things, but Blunt looked good the other night, but I'm not necessarily sold on their running back core right now.
I just real quick, the poor man's version, I think James White has actually earned not that title, a little bit above that. He's not Dion Lewis, but he's played really well. He's caught the ball well. He's running a little bit better. I don't think he's the poor man's version. He's not quite Dion Lewis, but I think that guy could be at least serviceable as we wait for Dion Lewis to get back in the lineup. All right, last topic here. In the last few years, as we approach August and September, the Red Sox have been out of it, so we really haven't had much to talk about. This year, different story. Andrew Benintendi, a part of that, as he's emerged in left field for the team. Benintendi, Bogarts, Betts, Bradley, is he one of the big, the killer bees based on how he's played since arriving in Boston?
All right, so if the killer bees are a three-man fraternity right now, I think Benintendi is still like pledging or getting recruited into that. He has to pay his dues. But how about that catch last night, Mark? Probably one of the top 5 catches of the year, definitely the best Red Sox catch. He's exciting to watch. I saw a lot of comparisons to Freddie Lynn last night on Twitter. I didn't see much of Freddie Lynn because I wasn't alive in '75 when he was a rookie, but kind of just a very natural athlete. He's got some good hair. He swings the bat. He's athletic, 5 tools. I think Benintendi has been fun to watch in left field. I think he's going to be able to hit for average, run the bases well, play some defense. I don't know about his power numbers, but conveniently his last name begins with a B. So I think by the end of this season, he'll be in the killer B group, and I think he will certainly contribute. I don't think he has as much upside as Betts and Bogarts. Maybe I'd slot him in there third, though, ahead of Bradley Jr.
I will not put him in the Killer Bee group. He is not in the Killer Bees. He hasn't been here 15 minutes. He's finishing his cup of coffee. By the way, in the last week, he's led the American League in strikeouts. So let's calm down. The catch was excellent. It was a great catch. However, it is not a top 5 catch of all time, top 10 even. It's a great catch.
Not all time.
But listen, I played left field. I played outfield. That catch, you know, if you really watch it, he was sort of, as he approached the wall, breaking down his footwork. He wasn't running full speed. He was able to break down a little bit, then he leaped, then he caught the ball. It was not the most difficult catch you'll ever see. It was a very good catch. But I've heard some people talk about it was the best catch I've ever seen. No, not even close. Not even close, but it was a great catch. And it was a big catch because what would that have brought Tampa within one? He has definitely provided a spark for the Red Sox. And the last thing I'll say, when you look at some of the more recent playoff runs and even World Series runs, they have had, you know, that guy come in and kind of fill a void out of the minor leagues late in the year.
Yeah,
Kevin
Bogarts
Youkilis
in
maybe a little bit in 04, but Jacoby Ellsbury was huge in 2007. So, you know, we've seen this blueprint before. It has worked for the Red Sox. We'll see if Benintendi is that guy and if he can produce as we go towards the postseason.
All right, Mark, hating on the Benintendi catch, but we'll let that one slide. So, thanks so much for joining.
Not hating. It was a very, very good catch.
You played the position.
It was a very good catch.
I thought you were second base.
Second base? I never played second base in my life.
I figured not much of an arm. You played left field?
Whoa, not much of an arm?
What
are we talking about here? Let's end this show.
Mark Tondero, former D1 baseball player at Bryant, getting frustrated, but he played D1 baseball and I did not, so we'll give him the edge on that one.
D2. Bryant was D2 when I was there.
Now D1.
End the show.
All right, Mark, good stuff.
End the show.
Safe
travel. It was a great catch. Benintendi, great catch.
Safe travels back from Williamsport.
Thank you.
And welcome back to New England. Catch the full episode online, WPRI.com. We'll see you next week, hopefully both of us in studio. Thanks so much for watching.